What's up, guys? What's good? What's good? I'm super happy and grateful to be here with all of you. We got two special guests today. The intention of these Monday calls is one, to create transparency, the best expectations, the proper expectations to what trading really looks like. And more than anything is so that you guys have perspective. So you guys have perspective on how you can approach this in a lot of different ways, what the journey looks like, some of the technicals, some of the mindset, some of the backstory on some of the best traders that I know. And so that's the overall intention of this. If you are excited, right? If you're feeling good, if the vibes are high right now, let me see this chat. Let me get this chat bumping. Let's get this thing going crazy. I need the elevation of vibration right now. So let me feel y'all. I wanna make sure from all over the world. Let me know right now in this chat how y'all are doing as well. And anyways, guys, we have two special guests, right? Two special guests. If you don't know who I am, my name is Mike Navarrete. I've been trading for a little over the last 8 years. It's been an amazing experience at this point now. My main focus is just to share my experiences with you guys so you can learn from my mistakes, my failures, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so you can do things better than I do. That's at the very minimum is what I want to happen, and for you guys to live a life of just freedom and however it is that you define that. But with me, I have two amazing guests, which I'm gonna bring on now. The reveal. So let me add the spotlight here. I got my sis Nina. What's good? Let me know if you can unmute yourself.
Hey, I am here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Let me unmute. So I'm hoping you can hear me. Okay, good.
All right, and I got my boy Tyrone. Tyrone in the stew. What's good?
What's good? I know y'all see a very familiar face over here too.
Hey, man.
Oh, that's crazy. We got Manny.
We got Manny over here. Let's get it. Now this is gonna be fun,
go.
guys.
All right, so let me go ahead and make sure that we have no unwanted people unmuting themselves. Every time there's somehow one person glitches out and they'll be saying the most wild thing possible when they unmute themselves. I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys. But so anyways, guys, I appreciate your time. I know your time is valuable. I think that's one of the probably the number one reasons why we do what we do is because we've learned kind of the other side of time and money. All my life I heard, time is money, but clearly that's definitely not the case. It's very different. But I had both of you on here for a reason, and we all approach the markets very differently. I know
Thanks.
Nina, your focus is price action, market structure, and Tyrone, obviously you use those things, but then you kind of have a different system in place as well. And I trade.
Yeah, I mean, we're all here for the same goal. And
yeah, we're here. We're here to extract money from the markets, right? That's at the end of the day, that's what it is. And I've noticed in the trading space, I don't know if y'all have ever seen this before, but I've noticed just a little bit of ego, just a little bit, not
facts. I wouldn't even say a little bit, a lot of
it.
We noticed a lot of nice.
And I always tell people it's not even you against somebody else, it's you against the markets. Why do you even have ego? Like, are you serious?
Yeah. And then at the end of the day, it's just you versus you too.
Facts.
I don't know if it's like we like to be part of community and like, oh, I'm this type of trader and this type of trader. But the reason I want to bring that up is there's a lot to learn behind every way to approach the market, and you might not execute the exact same way. Like we might not all get in for the same reasons, but there is always something to take from somebody else. And that's actually really what I wanted to do on today's session. Before we get into the technicals, because I do want to get a little bit more on the charts for today's session, but I want you guys, if you guys can give me a quick, 60-second introduction, like what do people need to know about you? And I'll start with you, Nina. What should the family here know about you?
Well, if you don't know me, my name is Nina. I am one of the very few females educators in this space,
Let's
but I'm
go.
sure we're changing this. We're
Representing.
Let's
changing that dynamic, right?
go.
Let's go. Where are the ladies at in the chat? Where are the next female educators
Let's
in the
see
chat?
it.
The next male
Lady
educators in the
pimps.
chat? Let's go. So if you don't know, my name is Nina. I enjoy, like Mike said, I enjoy trading price action. I am a naked trader. I like catching pips. Pips are my best friend. To be honest, what you need to know about me is I'm a mother of two. A lot of people don't know that. I have
Come
two
on.
children. And when I started this journey, my son was a newborn and I was learning to trade with a newborn in my hand. So if you
Baby
have
pitch.
kids,
Let's go.
if you have
Love it.
kids, you understand the struggle, sleepless nights, all that good stuff. And I was learning a whole new skill that I never knew that I could even really, to be honest, accomplish at that point in time.
Yeah.
But I gave it my all, and I'm here today to let anybody know that, a lot of times we make excuses for why we can't, but I didn't allow that to stop me. Actually, my accountability was when I woke up every morning and saw my son and said, absolutely not. When I had to take my daughter to school and she was in kindergarten, I said, no, I'm staying home with them. I'm changing the game for my kids. So, and I'm a reversal trader. If you don't know, I like trading real reversals in the market where the trend before the trend happens. So that is where I'm at. And that's it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Were you learning how to trade with your first child or your second?
My second.
Okay, so at least you had a little bit of practice before. So you were ready, you're like, all right, okay.
We're gonna do this.
A little bit of experience. That's cool. And what year did you start learning?
I came into the IM Academy in 2018, May of 2018.
Okay, cool. So it's been like, this is what, year 6 for you then. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, congrats. And I know you've been paving the way for a lot of women here and a lot of men, for a long time, parents. And so that's cool. I like that background because this last year, I've seen so many people become parents, and seeing the way that changes in trading and business is different. It's a whole different game. So
It is.
I'll get some insight on that in a little bit. But so I appreciate that. But Tyrone, you
What's going on? What's going on?
we got a little eyewear upgrade. So
Let's go.
you better break out the matrix out here.
First off and foremost, I just want to say I'm really grateful to be on this panel with you guys. We've been teaching IM for years now, and it's the most beautiful thing ever. So I'm really grateful being up here with you, Nina, and Mike as well too. And thank you guys for the invitation. A little bit about myself, guys. I'm a trader. I'm a videographer. I'm an artist. I got music out there as well too. My music's going crazy overseas right now, which is really dope.
Oh.
But what's really dope about this whole industry is there's no cap. And when I first got into this industry, Nina, I used to work for a guy. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but his name is Grant Cardone. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but Grant Cardone, I used to work for him, and I remember working there, and people were just like all gung-ho about it. But I was like, there's a cap here. I can only make this much. And I am not part of the 99%. How many people in the chat right now are part of that 1%?
Talk about it.
Because I already knew. Nina, I already knew you knew.
Talk about
Mike,
it.
I already knew you knew. And I was like, I am not a part of that 99%. I am part of that 1%. And I was just like, I watched him make a certain lump sum amount of money in about 4 hours. And that's when everybody was excited for him, but I wasn't excited. Let me take these off for a second. I wasn't excited because I was like, oh my God, if he can do that, why can't I do that?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why can't I do that? And I remember about a week later, Mike, I quit. And Grant called me. He said, why'd you quit? And I was like, I know I'm going to find my own way. And I'm going to tell you straight up, it did not happen overnight. There was a lot of blown accounts. Mm-hmm. But I knew if I just put my foot forward, I know I'll eventually get there. And that's one thing I want you guys to get from today is getting rid of that biological clock, Nina. You know how some people, when they first get into this game, they're like, oh, I'll give it 6 months or I'll get a year. I did not care if it took 10 years.
I'm with you.
No cap here. There's no
That's
cap,
right.
Mike. If it took me 10 years, I'm still going to be at the top.
I think that's a recurring theme. I think I actually don't know a trader that didn't have that kind of infinite mindset type of
Infinite.
approach
Ooh, I
to it.
like how you said that. Infinite
Mhm.
mindset. I like that. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
guys,
What year was
that's
that?
a little bit my second.
What year was that?
This was tanks. It was long ago. I've been in the game for trading for about 10 years now. I got in when I was like around like 21, 22, around that area.
Gee.
I got in before before it was cool. There was no trading view back in the day.
Wow.
And
Yeah, isn't that
MT4,
crazy?
yeah, it's wild seeing the new stuff pop up. Like you guys got tools for days. We ain't had none of those.
The MT4 terminal, man.
Yes. And Mike, I'm gonna tell them on this part real quick, guys. You guys have this for a discount. Did you know when I first started, the average Fibonacci course was 50 grand?
Ooh.
Jesus.
Average. The average. And then people come here. I didn't get what I was
crazy.
supposed to get for. I'm like, what? You just started. So, guys, you guys are in for a treat. Get ready. The next 10 years of your life is going to be absolutely amazing. And you just get rid of that biological clock.
Mhm.
I mean, you didn't do a biological clock when you was working that job. Why would you do that for yourself?
100%.
Let's get it.
100%. I always say, because for me, I didn't come into this with money or anything either. It was just, broke college kid. But one thing that helped me in the beginning was I would tell myself, look, man, you've been broke your whole life. Like now that you have all the resources, now that you have the right community, now that you have the right avenue, the right way to do it, like what's the rush now? My whole life I've known not making money. So why now that I have every single resource that I need, where the only responsibility is on me delivering and executing, what's the rush now? So
I love that.
So you got to give yourself some perspective sometimes. And congrats to you, man. That 10-year mark,
Yeah, it was a lot.
goated. That's
Because I've been
next
telling
level.
people, man, yo, Nina, my first 2 years, let me talk to them real quick. My first 2 years is what people are doing in IM in 6 months, and they're complaining about 6 months.
Mm.
Are you serious? It took me 2 years to get where you guys are at.
I was drawing my fibs
Yeah.
backwards my first like 6 months, man.
Man.
Upside down and everything.
Wait.
All right. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for the little intro. You guys definitely have a lot of experience and you've all learned how to trade pretty efficiently. Usually these sessions have to do with the mindset and psychology, but I actually really did this one today because I wanted to get a perspective on the charts between us because we all trade different. And I wanted people to be able to really just understand that it's not about the strategy, it's about how you resonate with the strategy. It's about how it connects with you, your personality. For example, I trade indices and some of my entries are off the 15-second time frame. And it's like you would have asked me 7 years ago.
You're a strong person.
Right. You would have told me I was going to do that
Mentally strong.
7 years ago. I'd be like, what, dude, you're insane. But I figured out what works for me. And, it all came together. But something like, for example,
amazing.
I know Nina, like you're on Forex way more,
Mhm.
and you're looking at higher time frame structure a bit more. And then Tyrone, you're doing a little different, but we can all get it done because we know each other ourselves. And so I wanted to go into that. What are some like defining characteristics that you have that you felt like, okay, this is why I approach my strategy this way? Starting with you, Nina. Like how did you kind of go, okay, you know what? I do things at this pace with these pairs. Like how did you really get to that point?
Well, I like volatility because I'm impatient. So I know I'm an impatient person. So I can't do like the slow currency movements. Like it just don't work with my flow.
No,
I'm not a swing
odd
trader either.
CHF for you, nothing like that.
Gold was my baby
Oh my
when I
God.
got started. Tyrone just said, oh my God. Volatility was like we was a love-hate relationship at first. I ain't even gonna say like we was good at first. We was not best friends at first. So don't get it twisted.
I know that feeling.
Love-hate relationship at first. Because of my impatience, I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to do too well with currencies. I just couldn't do the slow movement too well. But if I can have confidence and understand the execution part of the overall direction of the market, these higher volatility pairs aren't really going to hit me as hard as they were hitting me, if that makes sense. So like understanding the overall picture of these markets, you want to know the direction of the overall picture, because I am a mom. I mean, I have little kids. My daughter was in kindergarten, so I'm dealing with a baby and having to go take her to school and pick her up from school. So there was a lot going on throughout the day of my life. So I couldn't sit on the charts too long. And I knew that almost immediately. So I knew, okay, I had to find a strategy where I know that I'm going to know the direction overall for that day, because I'm inner day. I couldn't swing. I knew that about myself because I'm a little impatient. I don't like holding trades. And then I wanted that volatility because I wanted to actually get a lot of pips, but only in a certain time frame. So that's kind of the way I approached it. And then really, it's funny how I got into gold specifically, because when I started about 6 years ago, somebody, we were, house meeting, somebody said something like, why are you trading that pair? Nobody trades that pair. You'll leave before you'll ever master that pair. And I said, challenge.
Oh no!
Hey, let's go, Nina.
You do not say that to somebody with the right mindset, man. Oh, that's the worst thing and the best thing you can say.
Exactly.
It was exactly that's it. I said, oh, what did you just? Thank you. I'm gonna get this thing, and we're gonna
chip on my shoulder now. Okay.
Yep. But that's really how I came about it. I'm a mom. I'm really busy. A lot of people think that you got to stay focused on the chart all day and all night in order to make money, and that's not really true if you understand how to capitalize off of the market. And that's really where I was all about. And I had to learn direction in order to really know, to feel comfortable, because we don't want to be in the shower looking at our MC4, and then we won't be using the bathroom looking at our MC4, and we won't be driving and looking at our MC4. We want to know the overall direction of the market in order to feel confident.
Unfortunately, I have
been there. Been there.
I think we all been there.
Oh no. Oh man, that's hilarious. The shower one just gets me, dude. Because like I've literally seen that. I don't know.
I don't even think I washed up. I don't even think I washed up. I just let the water hit me. No, I didn't even have the sun. I didn't even have the suds. I didn't even have the suds. I just had the water.
Have y'all seen that video with when like the water gets on the phone, right? And all of a sudden it starts sending out all these crazy texts. Y'all ever seen those videos?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what happens on the MT4. Water gets on the phone, and all of a sudden it starts opening up all these positions, and it's crazy.
Yep.
Have any of you guys like pocket entered?
Yeah, that was that bad for me.
I pocket entered. That's the reason why I don't usually have my MT4 on my phone, because I had a really bad I trade from I only do laptop, because that's cool. I know the way that I work is I want to see the full picture.
Yeah.
So therefore I force myself to come to my station. I force myself to go to work.
That's good.
And I want you guys to listen to what I'm saying right now. I force myself, because when I get on my phone, I see stuff that's not there. And so I've also had issues of pocket entering. And I was like, I only do computer no matter what. I force myself because I want to see the big picture. I have a big screen right here. I want to see the big picture. How many of you guys have ever got onto your phone and you entered the trade, then you went to zoom it out on the big screen? You're like, why did I even do that?
Why did I do that?
That ain't even it. That is not even it. So I force myself to come to my workstation. I have a workstation here, and I have my Surface Pro as well too on the other side, where that's the only way I trade, period. There is no other way I'm going to be trading. And it worked for me. If it works for you, that's great. But it worked for me because I knew how I, like, when I look at the market, let me know if this is y'all. You'll look at your phone and be like, that looked like a Dragon Ball Kamehameha right there.
Oh my God.
I know I'm not supposed. Click. No, I'm not doing that right now. I want to see the whole picture. So I force myself. But to go into the question that you was asking earlier and everything, I love that you tackle gold. I used to be scared of gold. But I'm pretty much like a hybrid. I love exotics. I love exotics a lot, but I pretty much trade anything. It doesn't matter what it is. I could trade US sugar or whatever. It doesn't matter. I base everything off of risk to reward, because I'm known in the space with D-Lo and everything as like the entry god, basically, like an exit.
Very
and
humble.
knowing all of your what's it called? Your fail safes.
Yeah.
So like on every trade, there's at least about 9 fail safes. So therefore, you're looking at each one of these. So therefore, if you can get your exit, not exit, but like your stop loss or your exit as close as possible, you're not going to hit your stop loss. You guys know, some of you guys are in my class and everything. Out of like 10 trades, you'll probably get 1 stop out of any of those. Because over the years, the 10 years, I spent so much time, Mike, on exits. I spent most of my time on exits, Nina. So therefore, if I'm going for 100 or 300 pips on US 30 and I'm risking 100, that's a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. That's the same thing, me risking 10 pips and going for 30. So I pretty much just trade whatever I want with that same mentality of, man, I can go ahead and grab 18 pips on this one for a risk to reward for 1 to 3 because of my stop is so close based on data. I do a lot of like data stats and everything. I have robots that run through all my stuff for percentage. Manny was just checking out a couple of those. And so that's pretty much what
Is that Manny behind you?
Yeah, Manny's right
Manny
here.
behind him.
Yo, Manny, if you have time, bro, pull up a chair, man.
Pull up a chair, bro.
Join the squad.
Grab that headphone right there.
At first, I thought Manny had a broom in his hand. I said, "What's he doing? Cleaning."
Oh no, he's just. All right, we'll grab him on later. But like, hey, I see you. But no, like that's basically over the last 10 years, Mike, I've been on exits like crazy. Everybody that I've dealt with, because I used to have a company before I came to IM, I used to have ads out for just exits. I used to be like the exit guy. Like everybody knew about exits. Which one are we going to use at this percentage? And everything had data on it.
Mm-hmm.
So then I just used that instead of going for US 30 for 500 pips and I'm only getting a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. I'm going to go head over to EU and I'm going to do the same thing over there for only 18 pips. Mm-hmm. Just open up the lot size a little bit more.
All right. So
that's
we're getting a little nerdy on this one. I'm loving this.
This is good. This
This is my language. So now that, all right, you know what? We were going to get it one way, but we'll get there eventually. Sometimes you got to go a different path before you get over there. Now that we're talking about exit strategies. So for you, it's obviously it's risk reward. How are you determining your risk to reward? Do you have a fixed risk reward? So are you consistently going for 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 5 to 1, or are you exiting the market more so based on structure, based on what it's actually showing you? What is it more for you? Something more fixed or something variable?
So this is a beautiful question, because it's a little bit of everything. Because we have a fixed, and that's maybe you want to take partials at that area. So that's like a 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. But what we do is we follow our method based on the EMAs. That's one way. So we have this thing called the aqua check, and you can literally let that thing keep going like crazy. I was teaching Chris the other day ago, Chris Terry at his house the other day ago on the aqua check. So you can let that thing just roll on the aqua check, and all you're doing is moving your stop up in profit where the aqua is based on the method. Then we also have exits like the LC, TLE, VBC. When you see this happen, Nina, you're out. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's it. And everything's just organized. So therefore, you're literally walking through candle by candle or hour by hour, based on what time frame you're trading. And you can literally see everything happen before your eyes. A lot of times on the sessions, I actually challenge my students to do it for me on the session as training, so that they can see each thing by candle. So if you hit your first level, which is maybe 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, that's great. You could either pull 100% out if you want to, or you could look around and say, do I see a VBC? No, I don't. Stay in the trade. Do I see a LC? No, I don't. Stay in the trade. Do I see aqua check? Okay, pull it up. More in profit. Do I see any of my other exits? No, I don't. Let it ride. And now you got even more. So it's based on, it's like Batman's utility belt. Pick what you want.
I love it.
Which tool you want to use?
I love it. I know some of the people here are like, what do these acronyms means? What do these acronyms mean? And you guys can definitely go to Tyrone's favorite sessions, and he has a break.
Yeah, they're all in the favorite. Yeah, they're all broke down in order. And these exits, you just pick what you like. Like in the chats, like some of you guys are on the call right now. What's your favorite exit? They're gonna write into the chats right now. Like you when you know your exit, you follow. It's like kind of like in sports. We go out there. Nina is the best 3-point shooter out there. I got a freaking play for her, and I'm gonna play that play on her. So if you said you like gold. There's certain things, Nina, that I do on gold. I only do ESC 70, ESC 60 or 40 or LC on it. That's it. That's all I'm doing on there.
Yeah, that's wild.
So and I love that it's building confidence too for the customer. Like it's building that confidence of rules for them.
There's a couple of things I want to break down from what you just said. And one, you have a system for yourself. So, and I want everyone to know this, when you're getting into the market, you already have an established way of how you're getting out. So you might not have a predetermined exit completely. It might not be as black and white as, okay, this goes 3-1 and I'm done. But you have, if market does this and this, if my indicators or whatever it is, give me this, then I'm out. So you already have it established so that the emotions are eliminated. It's like, I don't care.
Think about it like when you're on a plane. Think about when you're on your plane. They're not banking on the plane to crash. But they tell you, just in case, your exits are here. Yes. So I look at it the same way in trading, because obviously we know a lot of people lose in the market. So why not have some protection? Because the average trader is not going to be on the level as Mike on Nina, but they need some protection just in case. Right. So that's pretty much over the last 10 years. I put all my life into that.
I love that. And one thing that I like what you mentioned in the way in which you're teaching, and I've got to see, how you teach on a live session. Same thing with you, Nina. And one thing that I'll say that I love about what you guys do is the involvement and the engagement with your students. You said something, you're like, honestly, sometimes I have my students tell me where I'm going to exit the market. And that's powerful, because I think coming from a student perspective, a lot of the reasons why it takes us longer to get where we can go is because we're only watching. You're only watching the sessions, you're only watching recorded.
I love that.
And the courses, but you have to be involved. You have to gain the muscle memory of execution, of exiting, of, for example, like hit pause Tyrone's session and go, why did he mark that up? Mark it up on your own session and then take it on your own account, whether it's demo or whatever it might be. But I think the way you both teach is really immersive. And I can tell that's why you guys have a great following. The chat here has been going crazy nonstop, because it's like, it's not just, oh, let me watch this person do their thing. It's, I'm kind of almost doing it with them. So I love when you guys teach. It does make it really, really engaging.
And I even sometimes, like Nina, I be challenging them on purpose. So like what they'll do is they'll walk through the trade and follow the rules, and I will deliberately mess them up in the middle of it. I will bring them anxiety and everything. I will go against everything. And sometimes they fail. They fail, but it's amazing seeing what happens over the months of them going through. They're like, no, I'm following to ESC 30 because this is, and I'm like, oh, I love you guys. Thank you. Because there's going to be times where emotions are going to hit you when you're supposed to follow your rules.
Mm-hmm.
And so, man, we all been there too. We should have followed our rules.
So I took a USD JPY sell during New York session. I was gonna, it's obviously time zone's a little different here, but I want to get I want everyone here to see, how would you have taken or not taken that trade, and if let's say maybe we all took the same sell, where would you have exited? Because I think it's really cool approach. I want to see, I want everyone here to kind of get that perspective of, would they have taken the same trades? And the best part, and I'll say this before we go look into the charts, is sometimes no one's right and no one's wrong. There's trades, there's going to be moments where, Nina took a sell, I took no trade. And then the market gets to a certain level, I take a buy, and then Tyrone doesn't take a buy either. But so it's like all of a sudden we're just playing different games.
Yeah, play your game.
That's the number one thing. You have to trade your game. And it's funny because I don't trade Forex. UJ was the first Forex pair I've traded in, like, I don't know.
Hey, welcome back to the Forex side.
But I saw the setup, I saw the setup.
My students got me in the JPY, so I'm with you. It's like GJ, EJ, UJ, and I'm like, all right, guys, let me put them on my watch list just for y'all.
Let's go. I love me some JPY, so JPY be on it.
So I'll share my screen and I'll give you a quick rundown, and then I want you guys to kind of tell me if you would have taken something similar or what would have happened. So we'll go into this, and this will be real quick. So we'll go into this here. All right. So for those of you that already trade with me, you guys would have seen this on the live session earlier during New York session. And to make it really simple, right? What had happened earlier was, we saw, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit, but we saw price here from left to right, where we saw a lot of liquidity right here. So for those of you who don't know what liquidity means, basically on a retail pattern, you would consider this a trend line. So what happens, most people are conditioned to buy off of a trend line, right? A second, third, fourth hit, however many, most people are taught the more you see people buying, the stronger that level is going to be. But the reality is, what we know is that there's more retail money building up right here. So what does that mean? There's more predictable stop losses in the market. If everyone's buying at these same levels, we have a pretty good idea of where stop losses are across this. So this is a magnetic area in the market. Eventually, price is going to come down and liquidate all of these entries, which is where we're at now, where we got to now. And so now we kind of had a target of where the money could go. But in order to take this, in order to ride the market to here, we need to have an entry. So to make this way shorter and to make this really fast, what we saw happen was we saw retail sales, equal highs kind of start building up over here. And I'll zoom in, super zoomed in, because the timing was important of this as well. But we see this happen, and this right here, right? We see this happen around what would be around 7:15-ish a.m. Central Time, so 8:15 Eastern. So we see this really big move to the upside. This sweeps all of these highs. So anybody selling, they lose. And then we see the market come crashing down. So just right there, we see a break of structure. And then price actually finds stability under this for about over an hour. So at this point in time, this is a really curious movement, right? This is what we call an orchestrated buy or an institutional buy. So at this point in time, we look for sells to close out this buy. So the market comes down, gets into our zone, and from here, we have, the huge drop. So this was our entry, 8-9 pip zone, and then we wrote it down quite a bit. Now, why did we take this all the way down? Like I mentioned earlier, more than anything, the conservative exit could have been over here, filling in imbalance. We saw it happen very quickly. And then all of this retail buys, that was our secondary exit. And that's because the market is just naturally looking to take people out of this. So you see, once we got a little bounce here, then we got that aggressive push down. So this ended up being a 7.5 risk reward, and then this trade's over. So with all that being said, quick rundown, not here to explain it all, but I wanted to just show you guys. Now,
beautiful trade.
Tyrone, how would you have approached this setup, and would you have even taken this setup? And let me give you host ability so you can walk us through.
Okay.
Walk us through.
All right. First off, I want to say beautiful trade. Second, I wouldn't have traded it.
Perfect.
I'm strict to my rules. UJ is not an AGB. I only trade directional patterns. Right now, it's a nice little consolidation. So you did really, really great on that. And I already know you're a master trader, so I know you have your reasons why you trade it. And I would have, if you would have called me up, I would have took it with you, because you know what you're looking for. So
you're disciplined. You wouldn't have.
You look. Me and Manny, we be taking trades. Manny be like, I see this, and I'm like, all right, cool, let's go. And I like the fact that your risk to reward was amazing. It was a very tight risk. I love that. And you already know, when you go into any type of trade and everything, if you understand your risk, what you're willing to give up, heck yeah, I'd be like, all right, let me test this out. All right, cool. So, but for me, no, personally, it's not an AGB. AGB is overall direction. I have a whole strategy for overall direction. And every week before we even start, we already flag our stuff for what's the overall direction. And these are the only pairs I'm looking for the whole week. And I stick to just that. When they go out, for the next week, some of these pairs are not going to be here, which means I'm not playing anymore. It's my hit list. I'm playing the easiest pairs possible. So prime example, we have AUD-CHF. Overall direction is for a sell. I have a whole tool for this and everything. So therefore, yeah, you take nothing but sells on that. We want to take the easiest trades first. But UJ is not a bad trade because obviously you know what you're looking for, and I don't know what you're looking for. So therefore, like if I'm taking your course and everything, I'm gonna follow because you know what you're looking for. And I always tell people all these methods work. You just got to find the one that worked for you. They all work. So me personally, no, UJ is not on my menu. UJ might be on my menu next week, but it's not on my menu right now, and I stick to just that. If it's not an AGB, I ain't playing it.
I like this. I like this, man. And I want you guys to really, you gotta know what's yours to trade and not what's not.
Yeah.
For example, Nancy and I, we don't take the same setups, and we trade basically the same approach, and we're literally in the same place all the time, but we're not trading the same because some things just like it doesn't resonate, or it's like I don't see it, or something's like not there. And we have completely different strategies. And so in that case, the fact is that you're so disciplined to your approach that even then, like, okay, cool.
Even if I know 100% it's going to drop, if it's not an AGB, I ain't taking it. That's what I teach with my students.
That's what it comes
I
down
don't
to.
take it. And there's some times where I'm like, man, I know this is going to go here, but no, I'm going to be a hypocrite. I'm not doing it. And so I stick to just that.
Yeah. And definitely, I think also there's emotions are nonstop in this. Like they don't go away. Doesn't matter how good you are. Like you just get better at not, trading off of emotions. And for example, let's say you would have taken that trade. Well, you don't have the proof that it's a duplicatable. And the whole point of this session was duplicatable trading models. So sometimes we're like, what's the point of taking a trade that might only pay you today, but you have no proof that it has longevity, right? You went off of your intuition, your third eye, whatever. But then it's like, okay, I got lucky that time.
Right.
Is it really?
And that's the thing is we don't want that luck. We don't want that luck. I always tell people, you exactly, Nina, they will take a trade, they'll win it, be excited. And then you already know, guys, JJ, everybody, when I yell at you guys on this and they be like, I won on it. I'm like, I don't care because you can't duplicate
Still a
that.
loss. Yep.
You can't duplicate that.
Loss. Yep.
So yeah, no, it needs to be duplicatable, just like you just said.
Now, Nina, did you see something in that UJ setup that would have been like, actually, I would take something like that? Or do you see something different? And I'm going to give you a host so you can kind of walk us through slightly what you see here.
Yeah. Let me share. Boom. All right. So this is UJ on a higher time frame. So I personally wouldn't have taken it. And I'm going to show you guys why. Remember, I'm trying to stay within a trend in the direction of the market from higher time frame. So if you look, this is on the daily. So I always go to the daily first because remember, I'm trying to find those movements where I don't have anxiety, stress. Like I know it's going to go. I know it's going to flow, right? So we want that. And what I see here, if you can just see on the daily, the last literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles are literally bouncing in between a zone, which is we call ranging market consolidation. So when I drop it to lower time frames to the 4-hour and the 1-hour, it's still consolidating inside of that zone. So for me, it's immediately like an immediate no, like immediate, absolutely not. And the reason being is because I could have capitalized on a certain amount of pips, right? I could have capitalized like how Mike did, right? That's why he saw what he saw and he was able to capitalize off of that. But I wouldn't have because the overall direction is still in consolidation. And most of the time, people are trading inside of consolidation, not knowing that they're in consolidation from a higher standpoint and hoping that it's going to go 180, 90, those big swing pip moves. Now, remember, Mike's a professional, so he knew where to exit the market. He knew how to get y'all out of that. So for me, if I'm going for bigger pips or bigger movements, I'm going to stay with the direction of the market. So consolidation. What's really funny is UJ might be making she's setting up to make a big move because she's consolidating. And that's what I would wait for. I would wait for the indication of the consolidation and kind of wear thin to then execute, because now I know the big move is about to flow. And now I can get in that bigger mental. Remember, my mentality is to catch pips, good R to R with a big pip move. So I'm looking at like, okay, UJ, you're cool. I want to catch 80, 90, 100 plus pips. My TP1s are naturally in that range, 90 to 150 pip TP1s. So that automatically goes against structurally what I'm looking at overall. So that's why I wouldn't have taken it personally, just because of how my trading style is with the direction. Hold on, how do I get out of here?
Awesome. I love that. I love the different outlooks, the different timings. One of the things I noticed is, you and Tyrone, let me make sure that you guys are still, hold up. I think my view is a little crazy here. All right, here we go. Let me know if you guys can see everybody here right now. Want to make sure we're all on the camera. Yeah. All right, cool. So one of the things that I noticed, you and Tyrone definitely have market structure as a focal point, and riding the trend is definitely a big focal point for you guys.
Yes.
Which for me, it's important to know the awareness, but I definitely do have the flexibility in my system to be able to counter trend trade.
And that's the beauty of having all of us up here. That's the beauty of it.
And more with indices than forex. Forex pairs, I respect them a bit more with the trend. I'm more like
they're gonna flow with that trend. Let me be careful.
Hey, they gonna flow. I'm telling you, because I used to be on the opposite side. How many people in the chat used to be on the opposite side where you're like, it can't go up too much higher, and it just kept going, and you're like, I wish I was going with the trend. Yeah. So that's why I put all my focus on exits and knowing that trend.
Yeah. And I think what you're saying, Mike, is really important too, because knowing the behaviors of a market is next level game changer. And I think a lot of people miss that understanding. Like a lot of people like Nina, 1 or 2 pairs, just because I always tell people focus on 1 or 2. It'll excel your skill set a lot faster because you're focused. Yeah. Don't be in 10, 15. So the fact that you're with those pairs and okay, I'm not doing that with Forex, but I'm going to do this with the indices. You could do it with gold. You could do it with oil. You can do it with anything volatile and still be able to capitalize off of those moves. So what Mike is saying is 1000% true. And it's creating those rules and knowing that because behaviors are real. And the markets do have behaviors. So I always tell people, like, when it comes to gold, I've been with her too long that somebody brand new comes into gold and think you could challenge me. I'm sorry, love you, but it ain't going to happen because I've been with her behaviorally in a different level. I've been married to it for 5 years. Does that make sense?
Loyal to the gold.
So think about it like that. Like if you got an indice or UJ or whatever your pair is, I'm going to be able to trade it. And I'm going to be able to get to it. But if I go against Mike in that pair and that's his baby for 10 years, it's next level because he knows a different behavior than I will understand about it.
That's how I am with Mexican peso. Yeah, that's my goal right there.
Tyrone likes the Latinas.
Yes, sí, tú eres muy hermosa. But I love Mexican peso, man. Mexican peso. I've been trading it for a minute. I've been trading that one for a minute. People on the session there, we guys, how long have we been trading peso in a row, guys? We've been playing for like 3 months straight.
See, Tyrone, I wouldn't go against you with Mexican peso at all.
That's my thing.
No day of the week.
I don't think I've ever traded peso in my life.
You get addicted. No, you will get addicted.
I've only physically traded pesos.
You will get addicted. You will get addicted. Like I'm telling you, it's really smooth. It throws a lot of pips, but it doesn't do crazy. Oh, y'all see how I'm talking right now? Because I know the behavior. And this is what we're talking about right now. The more you trade on it, you know the behavior. It doesn't throw crazy spikes ever. Like ever. It just goes. It just goes.
That's smooth.
Like, and it's just smooth. And I'm like, dang, hold up. But people are so scared of it because of the spread. But the spread is really quick on it. Like if you trade, you'll be out of it really, really quick. But people are scared of that number. But when they trade it, I got like 4 of my students are like, I'm in love with Mexican peso. It's just like, if it goes in this direction, it just goes. And I always tell them, trade until you get stopped out. Keep going. They're like, 13 days, I'm still trading it. This is crazy. It just keeps going. Mexican peso is smooth, man.
That's nice. That's nice. I want to go back to something that you guys mentioned. Nina, you mentioned how you tell your students to trade 1 or 2 pairs just to build familiarity with those things. And I've kind of gone back and forth between limited amount of pairs, look at as many charts as you want because you're just practicing finding setups. And I kind of found a sweet spot with indices just because for students especially, you just get so many setups on a weekly basis. And so that's what I think. Can you help me out with the camera again? Yes. But that's what I think really makes a massive difference. This camera's wilding out right now.
Yeah, no, I love what Nina said because I like to ride with Nina because I'll have like a bunch of my AGBs, but I only play like maybe 1 or 2 of them the whole week. I find the best one that I like, and I keep hitting it. Yep. And
find those setups and stack. That's what I tell my students. Find those setups and stack them orders.
That's and that's what it's really all about. Because as a student, what you want to do. Hold on, I'm just gonna go to the
yeah, Nina, we say juice it. We like just juice the mess out of it. Just wring all the juice out of that pair. Just keep going.
We're gonna juice that baby. That one setup about to pay me 15 times. We're gonna juice this thing.
No, see, that's different. I don't trade like that. I don't stack like that. For me, it's like I get one shot.
Well, I don't do so much of the stacking, but they give you so much more of those entries. Like we'll hit it for the direction, and then we'll make our money on those exits, and then they'll pull back and give us another entry for the same direction, and then we'll pull out on those, and then we just keep doing it until the end of the week.
So when you're looking for those re-entries, are you looking for a completely new setup already in the right direction, but are you waiting for like your setup to happen again, or are you waiting for a pullback?
And so it's usually going to pull back, but there's a certain entry that we followed. Shout out to the True Shift Zone gang out there. And once it happens and once it triggers, there's no hesitation. You enter, you set your stop loss spread ×2 where I tell you to put it, and then you have your 1 to 2, 1 to 3, and you follow to your exits. When you're done with that, get ready for the next day and do the exact same thing. On the sessions, I tell them, I'm like, we'll get on the session. I'm like, how many of you guys made money? They're like, yeah. I'm like, what are we doing tomorrow? Same thing, and they do the same thing.
He's causing a riot over there. Same thing.
Yeah, they literally in the chest, Mike. They be like, same thing. I'm like, yo. They be like, when do we stop? Till we get stopped out. You just keep going. And sometimes, Nina, you'll get like 5, 6 in a row straight wins, and then one stop out. Who care about that little 1-2% after you done grabbed after 12 already?
Yeah. I actually learned that from shout out to, I don't know if he's on this call, but shout out to Chris Derrick. I learned how to stack from a gentleman by the name of Chris Derrick. If y'all don't know, y'all should know who he is.
That's the GOAT right there.
From those I learned from the I Am Academy only. So I'm an educator that learned from the Academy only. So when
that's big.
I said I learned from 2 Chris's, Chris Terry's videos and Chris Derrick. Those are the
that's
2
big.
I learned from. So
yo, I got to give you your flowers, Nina. I got to give you your flowers. That is big. Wow.
Yeah. So when I say impressive. I'm about this life, like I am sold out. Wow. Like I am changing my life, literally.
That is amazing. Wow.
What I'll say, because I know we got only a couple more minutes here, so we do have to wrap up. For those of you that are learning and are going through your process, you want to just get the reps in as much as you can. And this might not be how you end up trading, but your learning phase and your trading phase will be a little bit different. So you'll get to a point where in your learning phase, you want to get reps in. You want to, like, I say lean into the volatility, lean into the golds and the pound pairs and the indices, because you can execute more often. You get to see the setups unfold. You get to take the trade. You get to practice. Can we hear from Manny? If he's there, he'll give us a.
Manny's hiding, guys.
He's chilling. He's chilling. He's like, hey, I already clocked out, y'all. Like, I wasn't ready for this. But with that being said, what I'll say is find something that you can get a lot of setups in, because, and I'll give you perspective, guys. Would you rather? How do you think you're going to learn if you're taking 3 setups a week for a year, or if you're taking 10 setups a week for your first 6 months? How are you going to learn faster? You're with taking more setups. Now, eventually, when it comes down to trading in your actual trading system, you might slow down, right? You might be more patient. You might not be at that point, but we got 4 more minutes, and we got a special guest right? A very special guest who's always been who's always had the best flow, I think, and I am, if I can say so myself. And this is a brother to me. You guys know him. You've heard his voice. I think it's impossible not to hear
His
Manny's
voice, right?
But yeah, Manny, bro, how are you doing, man?
I'm good, family. How you doing, Mike? Nina, how you guys doing? I just want to
Hey,
say I
how you
love
doing?
Tyrone's camera. I feel like a rock star right now. Okay, this thing is real
It is
cool.
so cool.
About to do a DJ set. Manny, you know, we got 3 minutes. You got 3 minutes on the clock, man.
Talk to me.
So we talked about different approaches in the market, and I've seen your approach to the market actually evolve since I've seen you get into as an educator in 2019, I think, or 2018, and go from harmonics, and you've been able to fuse a lot of amazing things together. But how did you get to that point? You know, how did your system evolve, and how do you feel now with that?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I would say over the years, as our education grows, as we grow as people, so does our trading. Our trading also grows. As I've incorporated a lot of different things into my style of trading, I think I always kept true to the basics of the market rules, which is always market structure and just following that high-low order flow. And I've always done that. And I think over the years, you know, going from market structure, looking into smart money, looking into market geometry, looking into indicator-based strategies, I think I just kind of found what worked best out of each thing. And then I just combined it, and I just rigorously kept testing it and kept testing myself in the market to the point that I got to where I'm at now. And I think it's been beautiful.
That's amazing. That's amazing, man. And
I try to keep it short and simple, you know?
yeah, no, I was like, all right, man, you got 60 seconds done. So I got time for one more question for you. And we'll wrap up there. But you know, seeing where you're at now in your trading, what's your current kind of trading goal? You know, and this is not a trick question. But what are your goals right now as a trader?
So my goals as a trader right now, I mean, my goals always fundamentally pretty much stay the same. I'm a lot like Tyrone. Anybody that comes on my sessions, same thing. I always do 1% risk, always looking for a minimum of 3% on the account. And I think my goal right now is I really, you know, by the grace of God, because everything I do unto the Lord Jesus Christ. But my goal right now is to really try to do $1 million every 6-month intervals. And I'm in a stage right now where I'm really challenging myself as a trader to go bigger and to be able to just go better inside of the markets.
There you have it, folks. The number one thing that I do want to say is listen to how he started that. It wasn't about money-oriented goals. First, it was under these circumstances, those things can come. So it's under the discipline, that can lead to these kind of outcomes. And that was the most important thing. And every single person I've had on here so far always says it's it's process before the outcome every single time. So thank you, Manny. Thank you, Nina, Tyrone. Enjoy. Appreciate you guys for your time. This recording will be available on my YouTube. I know a lot of you have been asking, and we'll be back here same time, same place next Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Much love to y'all, and we'll see you on the next one.